Days of my life, 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 days of my life.
Up in the valley, up in the mud, up in the prison. Got them yelling out, sweet baby, sweet baby. Got them yelling out, sweet baby, sweet baby. Jesus. Up in the valley, up in the mud, up in the prison. Got them yelling out, sweet baby, sweet baby. Got them yelling out, sweet baby, sweet baby. Currently, I've been moving humbly. Neighborhood friends said they used to love the upper me. Oh, we think he better cause they see me living comfortably. I repeat the devil every time I think he comes to me. Had my first encounter right in back of that courtroom. I was facing years back to back in that courtroom. Told him if he real, show his face in that courtroom. Then I seen the judge dismiss that case in that courtroom. Thought I had it all till I found you. Every time I read your word, man, it sound new. Thought I'm waiting for the day I come around you. When you tell me that you with me, man, it sounds true. Because it is true, and it is you. You forgave me for my wrongs and my sins too. Lord, you seen past my flesh and my issues. Man, I'm about to cry now, get the tissue. Wait up, hold up. Up in the valley, up in the mud, up in the prison. Got them yelling out, sweet baby, sweet baby. Got them yelling out, sweet baby, sweet baby. Jesus. Up in the valley, up in the mud, up in the prison. Got them yelling out, sweet baby, sweet baby. Got them yelling out, sweet baby, sweet baby.
Days of my life, 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 days of my life.
Kollar Jae in the house, everybody. Hey, Kollar Jae.
Hey. What's going on?
I just keep hearing days of our lives. I keep just hearing that in my mind. Days of our lives. I tell you, that is just ringing in my head. Days of our lives.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And then we got to tell the folks before we came on the air, you said, well, these are the times we're living in. Tell me about that. Set the song up for me. How was, you said it was a couple of months ago when this song came about. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I had laid this down in the studio about 3 months ago. I was inspired because I was diagnosed with COVID-19 when it first hit and everything. And that was I grew up in church, but I always had like a personal relationship with God, but not this intimate with God, you know, once I had got struck with the virus. And through the whole process of being diagnosed with COVID-19, it was a scare it was a dark place, and in that dark place, God, helped me through the whole process. He told me like, hey, listen, this is gonna get crazy before it get good, but listen, I got you, and I'm gonna hold your hand through this. And that was like my intimate relationship with God. Like my relationship just grew to a different level, and I had a different perspective of walking under the covenant of God, through that process. So I said, you know what? I'm not looking back. This is what it is. These are the days of our life. These are the times that my grandmom used to tell us growing up. Hey, it's going to be worse out here, so you better be in sync with God. And
Yeah.
I never knew that it would come this fast. And in 2020 have been a huge shift for the whole world.
Yes.
And I felt inspired to basically write this record and put that emotion behind it, because the way it was delivered, that's the way I have felt. Like I said in one of my lyrics, I said, thought I had it all till I found you.
Mm.
Nah, no. Thought I had, I thought I had everything figured out. I said, I'm going to church, and me and my wife, we paying our tithes and offerings and everything, and we on one accord with God. Nope, till I got that intimate, personal relationship with God.
Wow.
Nothing.
Well, now, did you experience like the whole, ventilator and all of that we hear with so many people that go through that process? Like, were you in ICU? Were you like, did you, were these lyrics given to you while you were in the hospital? Any of that, like your encounter with God during this experience? What and how did that happen?
Well, what happened was my experience. I didn't get the chance, and I was fortunate not to, go to the hospital and do the ventilator thing. I
That
was I had the high fever. I had the chill.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had that, and just that was just very exhausting for the body. So in the process, I was listening to a few praise and worship songs, and through that whole process, I was just, I was, even though I had my wife, I had my kids at that time, I believe my mom was staying here, but I felt alone. I felt alone. I felt intentionally alone, and I felt that God put me in that place to feel alone. So it's just me and Him. So it inspired me to come up with the first lyric. So I didn't come up with the actual verse in the process of having the virus. I came up with the hook, the chorus. I came up with the chorus, and
Mm.
and the meaning behind the chorus a lot of us are going through our trials and tribulations, in many types of frames, and many types of but we all in the same timeline. But
Right.
we're going through our own trials and tribulations, but we all need God. I believe, this year that was God reaching out to us like, hey, listen, I'm gonna shut everything down to let you know.
Right.
Don't idolize nothing. I am the beginning, I am the end, I am who you need. I'm the key to eternal life. And I always tell people, because a lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people, they lost their loved ones.
Mm.
And
My husband being one of them 2 months ago. So
oh,
yes,
I'm so sorry. I'm so
I
sorry.
definitely know.
So,
So
yeah,
not to COVID, but during this whole season of
right.
COVID 2 months ago. But I definitely understand. And my mom had COVID 5.5 days
Wow.
on a
Wow.
ventilator. I'm feeling you all the way there. But go ahead. This is your time.
Okay. So yeah, from everybody is just, we lost loved ones, and even the ones that had to, deal with the whole process,
Mhm.
of just going through it, just experience it. It was dreadful. So in the midst of that, I chose not to, stay in a dark place, but share my experience through my music, you
Yeah.
know. And like the album is called Reborn. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead. Am I jumping ahead?
Not, you're definitely not.
Okay.
And no, I love that you're talking about the album Reborn.
Yeah.
And so while you're there, let me see, can I even pull it up? Because while you were there and speaking of it, let me just show the cover for those that may not have seen it at the beginning. Kollar Jae Reborn, nice cover, by the way. But
Thank
no, go
you.
right ahead. You can tell us about the cover. Go right ahead.
So, so that the whole concept behind Reborn is not saying, hey, I'm a born again Christian. It's not that. It's I'm reborn. I'm rebooting my spirituality with God. I'm rebooting my walk with God. I'm rebooting my mentality, and not only my mentality, I'm rebooting my perspective on how I see the world and how I bring the energy into the world, with my walk with God. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes sense. I'm tracking you with you 100, and I saw here on your bio that you were up and coming Christian rap artist from Philadelphia that has
Yes,
been making
ma'am.
since the age of 14 years old, and you've done music with the legendary Roots members, and also done and opened up for the Roots, and that you're releasing or have released your album Reborn, and working on videos also to be released. Tell us about that. You're working on some videos?
Oh yeah. So not only I am a Christian rapper, I also have my own film production called Ed Organ Films,
Okay.
and that's been going on for about, I say, 6 7 years now, and it's been his ups and downs as well, but I love creating. I love creating. I work with so many different artists throughout the tri-state area, and I just love taking something and turning this taking nothing and turning it into something, you know.
Now, what is tri-state where you live? Because we're in Vegas and Nevada, and our tri-state is Nevada, Utah, Arizona. What's your tri-state?
So my tri-state is Philadelphia, Delaware, the Baltimore area, Jersey area. That's my tri-state.
Okay, I noticed you didn't mention New York. You said Jersey, but you didn't say New York.
Well, New York, that would be a little farther up from Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, got it. Because usually when I hear Jersey, I hear New York, all that. Okay,
Yeah.
no worries. We
Mhm.
have traveled East Coast many times. So I'm very familiar with your area. And so, wow, the song that you wrote, Days of Our Lives, and I heard you say the title that I was listening to the lyrics, and you said, this is the season we're living in. And so, but why the title Days of Our Lives? I mean, are you saying, okay, these are the days of our lives that we're living right now? Are you just speaking to current situation because of the season we're in, or did the title come from the fact that, this is future state, past state, this is where God has us? Like, tell me a little bit more of that title connection to the season we're in now or coming to, or I just want to make sure I'm tracking with you there as well.
Okay. Yes.
That was the hook you were saying God gave you, right? Or did I miss? Is that the hook that you were referring to when you said God gave you the hook when you were sick?
Yeah.
Okay,
Up
good.
and yeah. So yeah, it's plant based by the past, the current, what's going on now, what's going on in the future. Like we got the election, we had this COVID stuff, and even last year, last year was hard on a lot of people as well. You know, um, so it's based on the days of our life, the times that we're living in right now, the times that we've lived in back then, and what's in the future for us, later on.
Now, I noticed you mentioned you have some kids. So how are you all dealing with that during this global pandemic? Like, are they homeschool? Are you guys school?
Yes.
Are they
Yeah.
going times a day? Like
Yeah.
days and they
Yes.
like as children in the household? Do y'all have children?
Yes.
What is
My
that?
Let me just give a shout out to my beautiful wife, Crystal. She she's definitely holding it down with the household, far as the girls. I got an 8 and a 9-year old, and
Oh, good.
they're both homeschooled right now due to the whole pandemic. And she's been a great deal of help for the household, keeping it stable.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
can see the decor
Yes.
in the background. I said the beautiful woman did the decor in the background. I could
Oh,
just tell.
most definitely,
I can see it in the background. I said they got the touch of a woman back there.
yeah, yeah. Let me tell you something. I had came in from the house, and she hired some private contractors to basically remodel my studio and paint everything. Like she's awesome, man.
Oh,
She's awesome.
from Las Vegas.
Yes, yeah, she's awesome.
That is so awesome. Yeah. And so with the COVID and the season, so how are you all handling this season on the East Coast there? You were saying earlier the weather is changing. And like here, I
Right,
told you riding bikes and just getting out the house
right,
and warm
right.
and beautiful. But how are you all handling that out there on the East Coast in terms of the pandemic, whether it's, just with school or what have you, but as a community? For example, there's parents that have like formed, what do you call, I guess, co-parenting groups with the kids and babysitting and all that. There's like a lot of community interaction and engagement going on out here. Are you seeing any of that, whether through the churches or the communities, or is any of that kind of stuff? Or are you guys too big out there that everybody's kind of spread out? How
No,
is
no, we definitely ain't that big out here. I mean, well, people are still trying to practice social distancing, following the CDC laws and everything. Um, the kids, unfortunately, a lot of the kids, they are missing out on having that social life, especially my daughters. I was just telling one of my friends that it was awesome, and it was just a joy to see my daughters playing with other kids again. That was not too long ago, because
wow?
everything was shut down. My daughters want to go back to school,
Oh,
you
they
know. Yes, they definitely want to go back to school. And I want them to go back to school because, if they seeing mommy and daddy all the time, it's time to switch up the faces around here.
Safe to do so. And this is such a crucial next couple of days. It's going to be, by this time next week, we'll have a whole different world. So what is
Yeah.
God saying to you in this season? I mean, you said you've had COVID, you've had some intimate time with God, you've spent some time. What is he saying to you in this season? What Rhema word is he giving you for such a time as this? Like such a time as this, what is he sharing and telling you?
Well, what he's sharing with me personally is be still and let him do his thing, because you know in the past I'm the type of guy that say, oh, I got everything figured out, and I really don't got everything figured out. I really don't have everything figured out, but he's given me the proper guidance to get where to be where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And right now I'm in a season of I'm more listening to him,
Yeah.
and closing my mouth, and not leaning to my own understanding, but just trusting into to God. Know that he got a purpose, know that he know what he's doing. Sometimes we try to think that we can outthink God. We can't. We can't. So sometimes you just got to get out your own way and let him do his thing.
That's true. Wow. Wow, I can't believe time just flies by so quickly. It's been such a pleasure having you on today. Do you have any special shout out or closing remarks?
Yes.
To a close.
Yes. Shout out to God first. Shout out to my beautiful wife. Shout out to my kids, both of my moms, Tammy Rivera, Jesse Williams, my sister. Shout out my brother Dame. Shout out to you for having me. Thank you so much. And shout out to the fans and everything. And shout out to everybody that that's a part of the Reborn album, man. I'm just humbly appreciative right now just to be the person I am today,
Amen. Praise God. Well, thank you so much. And if you out there are just listening to us, you have been listening to Kollar Jae, and you can find him. Reborn is the name of his album, and you can find him. What social media handles are you on? How can our folks find you out there? What social medias are you on? The handles?
Sure. I'm on Facebook. You could go to my like page. That's like Kollar Jae. I'm on Twitter, Kollar Jae. I'm on YouTube, Kollar Jae. Instagram, Kollar Jae. Not hard to find, ladies and gentlemen.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Kollar Jae. To our audience, if you have everything but Jesus, you really have nothing at all. And we so thank you for tuning in with us once again right here on 24HG Facebook Live. Thank you, Kollar. Blessings.
Thank you.
Kollar Jae. All righty. Stand by.